Hey everyone, how's it going? This is Andy Hall. In a dark world, I think it's okay to have a chicken nativity and to start the show with a chicken nativity. That's just my own personal thoughts and beliefs. Deeply held, of course. I hope everyone's doing well today. I am doing fine this wonderful Friday. It's Friday, and that means tomorrow it's Saturday, which I don't know if any of you have this whole experience of one day being just like the next day. My girlfriend's back at work. She was off work for about a week or so, and really a lot of my days are tied down to her schedule because that's how I know that it's the weekend or not, because I'm not working. And so I start off the day. The first thing I say to her is, today is Friday, right? So I feel that I'm doing okay. I thought, it's obvious, right, that Chris isn't here. For those of you who've been with me in this time slot, I've been doing the show with Chris Mallard. This is me alone. Now, in case people want to show up and join me, they're more than invited to. I'm happy with sharing my space here on the channel and on the show. But yeah, how's everyone doing in the chat? I hope you're all doing well today. I had a chance to talk with a couple of you or chat with you. Good morning, Yo Natural Atheist. I thought I would, besides starting off with chicken nativity, which is a real thing. I found it a couple of weeks ago in East Somerville, basically down the street from where I live. And I just thought it was pretty awesome. I had to share it with you guys in case Chicken Jesus, that is Chicken Jesus, Blazard, Wizard, Pope, baby chick Jesus just hatching out of the egg. And notice that there were 3 wise hens too. 3 wise hens. They really did up that chicken nativity. I thought it was pretty cool. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. So I thought I'd start off with chicken nativity and then kind of ease into the show with a general question. Once the pandemic ends, what are your plans? Now that's a broad question. Because the pandemic's going to end at some point, right? I don't know about you all, but a few of my friends already have the first shot of the vaccine. They're in healthcare, they're in long-term care facilities. But Daniel Fisk-Bennett, for example, skeptic extraordinaire, came on the show the other day, and he showed us his card, his vaccination card, which is pretty cool. So the end is approaching, and you guys have plans? Do you have plans on what to do, like the minute that you feel safe? Because I guess that's what it's all about, right? It's just about feeling safe, leaving your door, and not getting sick from COVID-19. So if you guys have any plans, please write it in the chat. And James Henry says the pandemic will not end anytime soon. I'm hoping and this might be unrealistic for me, I'm hoping by my June 27th birthday crawl, I'm hoping by my June 27th birthday crawl, it'll be safe for me to go out and do the birthday pub crawl. That's what I'm hoping for. I was thinking about what my plans are, of course, once the pandemic ends, and I came up with, and I figured out that I'm actually forgetting what life was like before the pandemic. When the vaccine is pacified, I want to play my music for people. I didn't know that you were a musician, yo. If I could use the personal yo, I think that we're having a close enough friendship here that I can just go with yo. I didn't know that you're a musician. That's pretty cool. Playing live, performing live. I think a lot of people are missing that basic human contact, right? And I'm starting to forget about what life has been like, what life was like before COVID-19. So I started going through some of my old pictures on Instagram and on Facebook. It's like, I wonder what I was doing. What was Andy Hall doing before the pandemic? And I realized that I spent my time in three basic places. I spent my time at museums. There's quite a few museums in the Boston area. I have also spent a lot of time at diners. The Boston area, it has gaggles of good diners, and hopefully they will all survive the apocalypse. I've spent a lot of my times. Nothing will change much for me, unfortunately. Well, I'm sorry to hear that. Never again. I'm hoping that the sun shines a little bit brighter on us all once everyone gets the vaccine. So I spend a lot of time at diners. There's a great vegetarian diner, Veggie Galaxy, right in Central Square in Cambridge. And for those of you not acquainted with the Boston area, Central Square is right between MIT, Massachusetts Institute of Technology, and Harvard. And so it's right there. It's a really cool place. And I spend way too much time at the Veggie Galaxy, as well as other great diners in the area. Let's see, Lee Spanner. Spain or Spanner? I'm going to go with Spanner. We are not going back to anything you might call normal. We will now be facing global. You're right about, you know, what is insane about global warming here in the Boston area. There's the Seaport District that building up. They're just building up huge buildings there. And whenever it rains, there's flooding. And not even a lot of rain. You don't even need a lot of rain. There is a comedy club over in the Seaport District. And of course, before the pandemic, it was raining, you know, moderate rain, and things were flooded. So people are intentionally still building in areas that, you know, that's going to be flooded. They're flooding now, and they're going to be flooding, of course, in 5, 10, or 20 years. It's crazy. Blazed Whizzing Pope goes, we will be going from the ventilator to the frying pan. Well said, Blazing. Well said. So, you know, I'm hoping at least before the rainy, the global warming apocalypse hits us after the COVID-19 pandemic ends, to hit a couple of diners at least. And I was looking at my pics and I realized that I spend a lot of time in pubs too. I spend a lot of time in pubs. And so those are my three places I think I'm going to be hitting whenever I get vaccinated. And then I was thinking to myself, wow, maybe I do drink, not too much, but I do like to have a drink. And then I just found, because I'm here in my my studio, I don't even know this is a studio or not, but I'm here with my books, and that makes me feel good. I still have empty beer bottles from the show I did here on the 6th when the apocalypse broke out in the Capitol building. Tanker, 19K avocados. I don't get to Boston often. We spend most of our time in Providence. I don't like talking about Providence because it's such a beautiful city. It's so inexpensive. And it is, Yeah, my girlfriend and I spent a lot of time in Providence too, to tell you the truth. I mean, of course, we live in Boston, but Providence, just between us, everyone, is a hidden gem. It's a hidden gem. Well, the girlfriend says I spend a lot of time in coffee shops too. I was clumping in. I was clumping in coffee shops and diners, I guess. I was clumping in coffee shops and diners. Pubs are a natural home of the comic critical cripple. Good observation, Dave. So those are my plans to go out and about. Go to Providence, of course, and basically live my life. Maybe see my friends again. It's fun. I assume that my friends will be in the diners and the pubs that I go to. That's what I'm thinking. Oh, and I need a job. Critical cripple mentions the 4-letter word work. I worked a lot at the beginning of the pandemic. And then I didn't work at all. So I've been out of work. I don't even know how long it's been. Maybe 5 months now, maybe 6 months. And yeah, occasionally I look at the want ads to see what's out there, and every single job I feel just exposes me to COVID-19. If I can avoid COVID-19, then I will. Yeah. Amsterdam sucks. I was in Amsterdam like back in the 90s for a couple of days. It's been a long time. It's been a long time since I've been to Amsterdam. Never been to Rotterdam. So I thought I would, once, like I said, easing into the apocalypse here, I thought I would offer a few funny little bits I saw recently on online. So maybe give you guys a morning chuckle before we get into some of the more interesting pieces of news. I don't know if you've seen this from the great conservative commentator Tommy. I'm going to go with Tommy Lauren. If real Donald Trump were to lose, and he won't, his supporters will go to work tomorrow just as we do every day. When Biden loses, his quote, supporters, unquote, will likely loot and riot. Tells you everything you need to know. Trump 2020. Now, of course, if you look at the date on this tweet, it is from November 3rd, 2020. So this conservative commentator, Ms. Lauren, says that, or hypothesizes that, Trump supporters would just go back to work and not go around crying like babies or rioting in the Capitol building. I mean, that's all. She didn't say that outright, but that's the implication, right? That Trump supporters are everyday Americans that just want to go to work and get things moving, and God bless America. And apparently she was wrong. Apparently, not only are they rioting, or not only did they riot in the Capitol, but there's been instances around the country of bad behavior. Even just a cursory look at the news will show that Trump supporters are out and about and causing mayhem. They are not the good. They do not live up to the brand. They do not live up to the people who just want to go to work and live their lives. They're not those people. There's a little bit of harsh language here. A little bit of harsh language. This is by Dana Gould, comedy writer. Breaking. Bull, falsely identified as DC rioter, loses job at local stud farm. Quote, "This has been a terrible mistake," unquote, says Mr. Stampy. I just want to go back to effing cows. Oh, Mr. Stampy. I guess the gentleman is from Arizona. I had Jack Maturko on the channel the other night, and he knew something about Mr. Stampy. Yes, I would definitely agree, James Henry. This is the time to crack down on extreme right-wing groups. I don't know if everyone remembers, or if you're old enough to remember Timothy McVeigh with the terrorist attack in Oklahoma City. But after that, there was a crackdown on militia groups. It seems like it is a cancer in our body politic that they do something really, really crazy, and then the feds will crack down on them. We forget about them. We forget collectively how dangerous they are, that they are Nazis, that they are fascists. And then a few years later, they start doing crazy stuff again. And this is the cycle we seem to be in. We are now in the, oh no, they're really dangerous. Now we have to act on it and prosecute them and crack down on them. When in all reality, we should have just been treating them as unacceptable, that these are unacceptable groups here in the nation. Crazy. So the last bit of fun I want to share with you, not the last one, but this last tweet, this last bit I saw. We all hoped that, this year would be a little different from 2020, right? New Year's Eve, there was a lot of hopes. There was always something, in the air. New Year's Eve, we want the next year to be a little bit better than the last. Well, this person wrote down, well played. And this is a joke I wish I thought of myself, but I didn't. Well played, December 37th, 2020. It makes you feel like we never really left 2020, doesn't it? With the crazy chaos that's going. Remember Sammy Jenkins here in the chat. What's up, Sammy? Taking an AR, James Henry points out the obvious once again. Taking an AR-15 to a protest, that should not be a thing, right? That should not happen. You go to a protest, and Blazing Wizard Pope. Why would you take an AR-15 anywhere? You don't need to bring it to Starbucks. The barista may get your coffee order wrong, but you're not going to get, more than likely, you're not going to get jacked up at a Starbucks or at a Whole Foods or at the Stop and Save. It's crazy. All right, so let's see. What else are we going to be doing? I'm going to check the big list of things that I do. I don't know what I'm going to call this next segment. It could be the idiot of the day. It could be thank my fictitious God, I'm not that person. Maybe we should call it. And if you have an idea about what to call this segment, maybe pipe bombs are sort of uncool too. But those are homemade. And of course, Dave Critical Cripple says, what if I'm attacked by a stampeding herd of buffalo? Well, maybe you do need an AR-15 for that, Dave. Especially in Britain, right? I hear that there's like herds of stampeding buffalo in the UK. So this next segment, I don't know if we should call it Idiot of the Day, thank my fictitious God, I'm not this person, maybe Darwin Award winner, waiting to win their Darwin Awards, but let's talk about this guy here. And as soon as I show the picture, you will know who I'm talking about. Oh, this guy, Richard Barnett. He is one of the protesters that broke into, of course, the Capitol building, made it into House Speaker Pelosi's office, stole some of her mail, I guess, which is creepy, right? You break into someone's office and then you steal their mail, and then you take a picture of it outside for some reason with a bare chest. So for some reason you think the world wants to see your 60-something-year-old bare chest with Nancy Pelosi's mail. And is this the high point? Is this the high point of oh yeah. He's totally creepy. Totally creepy. Never again. Trailer park trash. He is. Can you imagine what this guy's dating profile looks like? Maybe he's putting that in. It's madness. So this guy's name is Richard Barnett. If you don't know, I like to play this game whenever there's a lunatic in the news like this. Is he from Florida? Because Florida seems to be, he's being manly. I don't understand how. You're spot on. Never again. You're spot on, Dr. Osiris. Welcome to the show. I don't know how this guy thinks that he's flexing his mad testosterone by showing a picture of Nancy Pelosi's mail that he's abducted from her office and showing it on social media. It's crazy. So there's this game I like to play, whether or not this guy is from Florida. And I'm like, I don't know. He seems like a Florida guy, but he's not from Florida. If you don't know what state this guy is from, let's see if I can find the right. Oh, here he is. He is from Arkansas. Barnett identified himself, his name is Richard Barnett, as a resident of Gravette, I'm probably mispronouncing that, Arkansas, in an interview with a New York Times reporter, Matthew Rosenberg, outside the Capitol building. In the same interview, he said he left a quarter in Pelosi's office in exchange for the envelope he took, and therefore his actions shouldn't be classified as theft. Now, that might sound stupid to all of you, but take another look at him. Maybe that's the best thinking that guy can do. Maybe that's the best thing, the best thought this guy can muster at any time. LOL indeed, James Henry. Never again, says Bet. He tries to sell it on Facebook Marketplace. Oh, yeah. Yeah, because Nancy Pelosi's, isn't that like going through Nancy Pelosi's trash? That's one step above going through Nancy Pelosi's trash to look for her mail. Tanker 19K Avocado says he's from Arkansas and his nickname is Bigo. If you have a nickname like that, isn't that small phallus energy? That seems like someone's compensating. Excuse me, I punch out the words here. It sounds like Mr. Barnett is compensating for something there, because if you're secure with your masculinity, if you're happy with who you are in the world, you don't do this. You just don't do it. You just don't do it. If you're secure with yourself, if you don't have any kind of mad craziness here, if you don't feel bad about yourself, you don't do that kind of stuff. This is a bit more about Mr. Barnett. In an October interview, Barnett described the state of the nation as sad. I don't know what he sounds like, so I can't do his voice. I'm sorry. I'm just going to read it straight. It is sad. It is really sad. We're beyond Democrat versus Republican. We are actually at the point of freedom and good versus evil, Barnett said. This is not just the United States. This is worldwide. This is the new world order, and we've got to get a grip on it. They're destroying the nuclear family. This is an advocate for the nuclear family? I don't think that this is the face of the nuclear family right here. Barnett did not clarify who was destroying the nuclear family. I think we all know who he thinks is destroying the nuclear family. Colin Kaepernick, Black Lives Matters, Kamala Harris. Barnett did not clarify who was destroying the nuclear family, but he went further to describe his views of Black Lives Matter supporters, calling them as domestic terrorist groups and running all around the country. Destroying. Right. So So Black Lives Matters, those are the people destroying the country, and not people like him breaking into the Capitol and stealing property, causing chaos. It's shameful. It's absurd and shameful. Never Again says, I have to talk to people like that, and I can usually avoid or talk them down. But hell, if I want them to know how ignorant I think they are. Oh, yeah. I totally agree, Never Again. When you're talking with someone who is that ignorant and dangerous, they are dangerous. There's a certain level of stupidity mixed with agitation and testosterone that you just cannot be honest. You cannot, speak clearly to them. It's like talking to an angry child. I don't know if anyone here has been a parent, but there's a point when you're talking to your 3-year-old that they are just 3-year-olds aren't rational. Maybe someone like Mr. Richard Barnett isn't reasonable either, ever. Blazing Whizzing Pope says, what the F is a nuclear family? Sounds like someone is living in Ukraine near Chernobyl. Oh, and James Henry goes, I am glad that I never see people like that. Blazing goes, I'm glad I live on a different continent. I was on Facebook the other day, and one of my buddies on Facebook posted about this Facebook page, a Facebook group that wants New England to be independent, that wants, the states that make up the New England area to be independent. And I'm like, well, we would probably be the smartest part in the country. I mean, the smartest part, of the United States, separating and doing our thing. I think it would only be better, to tell you the truth. Kate says, the irony of it all was that the Trump children were at home partying and low-lifers are on the street causing chaos. Well, that's the thing, right? That's how they do it. You incite the mob, you cause the mob to create chaos, because that's what mobs do, and then you're just sitting back. I don't know what you're doing. You're drinking, you're laughing. What you're doing is laughing while you're seeing the feed on Fox News. You're laughing. The Trump people are just laughing, enjoying themselves, living their best lives as they see it, as their own party, senators, representatives have to hide from the mob. Flying monkeys. And Alabama, if that bothers you, Tanker says, if that bothers you, try living in Alabama. I tell you, I've said this before and I'll say it again. People who are Democrats, people who are atheists, who are living in deep red states, we should be giving them money. They are pioneers. They are frontiers people. We should be just sending them a check every month. Hazard pay for living in deep red states. And you're doing good work because red states may someday become less red states, and those states may become purple states. So it's important for really liberal secular people in these red states to be doing the job spreading the secular faith, or the non-faith, as the case may be. Let's see, what else do I have up my? Okay, so I want to apologize beforehand. So the last segment might have been idiot on parade, to use a term from my buddy Nathan Timmel. But I want to say one thing about this last segment, because I don't know how long this episode is going to be. This is the first time I'm doing this alone. I want to say thanks again for everyone in the chat showing up. So this last segment, I want to label things that make me happy. Things that make me happy, right? Because a lot of this other stuff, it can be dark, it can be disturbing, but I want to do a section that's things that make me happy. However, the next image is going to be disturbing. If you have small children, if you have a heart condition, you may not want to see this. It's going to be rough. I'm going to do a countdown. 3, 2, 1. Betsy DeVos, how can you make me happy? Well, Betsy DeVos is no longer Secretary of Education. And isn't that great? I think that's great. The idea that Betsy is no longer Secretary of Education, and I wrote a bit about it today about the entire country getting smarter because Betsy DeVos is no longer Secretary of Education. And she's a rat. She is a rat leaving the ship. Arg. She is a rat leaving the ship. Blazing Wizard Pope. I tried to give you forewarning, everyone. I tried to give you forewarning. But she is no longer Secretary of Education. Children around the world, around the United States of America, at the very least, should be celebrating the fact that the country has just gotten significantly a step closer to being not stupid. Critical Cripple is dancing. Indeed, man. She is gone as Secretary of Education. Yeah, I understand that she is not gone forever. But I'm willing to be happy. I want to be happy about something. And Betsy DeVos leaving the White House is fantastic. Now, some people are saying she's leaving the White House because she does want to be part of the 25th Amendment, the drive for getting Trump out of office via the 25th Amendment. I'm sure that is. I'm sure she does want to be put in the awkward position because because Betsy DeVos, she's a Christian theocratic fascist. All right, I'm going to stick with that. Christian theocratic fascist. And I think what a Christian theocratic fascist like Betsy DeVos doesn't want to do is to publicly have to tell the world or her fan base that the white supremacist fascist, her old boss, Donald J. Trump, is crazy. Critical Cripple says she's a rat leaving a sinking ship. She is that right. And the thing is, if the ship wasn't sinking, she'd be happy with that ship. She'd be happy with it. Let's see. But so Betsy DeVos, she's leaving because she doesn't want to be involved in that 25th Amendment drive that's coming on, possible impeachment. Can you imagine this? Even if Donald J. Trump doesn't get, the full vote doesn't occur with the next impeachment drive that's going on. He would be the only president to have been impeached twice. Not only is he going to be the only president to be impeached twice, but it'll be all in one term. I used to think George W. Bush, or Bush the Younger, was the worst president in my lifetime. But clearly Donald J. Trump takes the prize. And this one metric of getting 2 impeachments, being charged with impeachment twice in one term only, is enough to declare him, for me, my own personal thoughts and feelings on this, as the worst president in my lifetime. Let's see, what else is going on here with Betsy DeVos? Of course, Betsy can't say publicly that she's leaving because she doesn't want to be involved with trying to get Donald J. Trump out of office. This is her official statement. Impression. It's always about the children. It's always about the children. Impressionable children are watching all of this, she wrote, of Trump's role on Wednesday events. They are learning from us. I believe we each have a moral obligation to exercise good judgment and model behavior we hope they would emulate. So they're okay with putting kids in cages. They're okay with people with black skin getting shot in the back 7 times. Betsy DeVos was happy about all those things. But it wasn't until she was in danger, her reputation was in danger, that Donald J. Trump went a little too far in the fascists' minds by calling up the crowd, his flying monkeys, to attack the Capitol building. That was when she was brave enough to put that line in the sand. So yeah, that was the material I had for today. And I think I'm going to close up shop I feel like this first time going solo went pretty well for me, if I do say so myself, patting myself on the back. And that's only because all you guys, you all showed up today and helped me out. I appreciate it. If any of you want to come on in the next show that comes on, with my next show on Monday, I actually have an email address. If you aren't following me on Twitter, on Facebook, on my YouTube page, there is an email address where you can contact me. So in case anyone ever wants to be a guest, I have an open door policy because I can easily do this with another person or 2 people or 3 people. It's all cool. Yes, I'm going to be getting guests. I'm going to be getting guests to come and join with me and talk about things in the future. But I feel really good. Trump will resign if Pence pardons him. Yeah. I'm sure that there's been a lot of conversations. James Henry, thanks, James Henry, for saying it's a Barry Purcell. Yeah, Barry, I didn't even know that you were here. I've just been doing my shtick. Barry is an incredible, smart guy. He did a Best Advice Ever episode with me a couple of weeks ago. The Trump people appear to be under instructions to set as many landmines as possible for the new administration. There's some kind of dark joke there about Trump supporters leaving IEDs, pipe bombs in the Capitol building, and Trump people leaving these kind of roadblocks for the next administration in the White House. There's something to that. Thanks, Kevin. Thanks once again, guys. I can't do it without you. I'll be here on Monday. Take care. Be strong, right? Be strong. Take care, everyone.